Welcome to Weekly Wisdom. I'm going to share with you today from a passage of Scripture and share some thoughts about the loads that we carry. So let's look at a very familiar passage, Matthew the 11th chapter, verses 28 through 30. It says, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light." I want to talk to you for just a few minutes today about the things we carry, the burdens we bear, the pain that we bring upon us and allow, not necessarily that we brought it upon ourselves, I don't mean in that context, but we accept some levels of stress and pain, and we take them upon ourselves, and we take it upon ourselves to carry it. We accept it, and we begin to allow it to be additional weight that we carry along with us as we go about our daily tasks, responsibilities, interactions, and the jobs and assignments and everything that we have. And so I want to talk today about the fact that there are some things that we're carrying that really we should put down. And I know this is easier said than done. Theoretically, this begins to be easier than practically. I recognize that. But I noticed this week, I usually do a very good job of work-life balance and not allowing stress from external things to be something that I carry with me. But this week, just transparently, there was a situation that I was dealing with that began to manifest some physiological body-related signs and symptoms to me that was really a situation that I don't typically allow to have that kind of an impact on me, that I usually do a good job of fighting against and making sure that I keep compartmentalize that in a way where it doesn't begin to have physiological impact on me. But I had a stress headache that was developing, and I don't like that, and so it jarred me to the point I'm like, something's gotta give. And thank God Camille is right here with me as well, and she's like, no, you got to do something about that. Do something. Do some yoga, some meditation, something. Pray, something. Whatever you got to do, not to begin to allow emotional and mental weight. Yeah, let's just call it that. Weight that is from outside of my home to begin to manifest on me, not just in my home, but on me. And so it has me thinking a lot this week about how sometimes, not that we invite it, not that we ask for it, not that we deserve it, but we sometimes accept. Yeah, we sometimes accept stress and weight. I'm not talking about the pounds. We accept those too, but I'm talking about emotional, mental weight. This stuff from the soul realm. The soul is composed of the mind, the will, and the emotion. So in the mind, we accept thoughts. In the will, we accept something that will cause us to not feel like keep it on going. And in the emotions, we accept emotions and we accept feelings. Yeah, we accept these thoughts and these feelings, and not that we want them, not that we go after them, but we say, all right, you're here, and hey, what am I supposed to do about it? I can't control what I think about. I can't control. How many of you have ever said that? I can't control my thoughts. I can't control. We've said things like that. And to some degree, I understand the intent of the statement, but we can control what we allow. Yeah, what we allow and what we accept to be something that belongs to us. We can accept whether we take ownership of a thought. We can accept, oh, I hope I'm helping somebody today. We can accept, I'm sorry, we not accept, we can determine, this is the word I want, we can determine if we will accept a thought. We can determine if we will accept some emotions, right? Because ultimately, we are the stewards of our souls, of our mind, will, and emotions. So yeah, all kind of stuff is going to come at us, and we're going to have to deal with all sorts of stuff in different avenues. So there's going to be job pressure that we deal with. There's going to be job circumstances, but we get to be the stewards to determine, do I allow a job situation to come home with me? We get to be good stewards, those of you who are in school, to determine, am I going to allow the stress of a school situation to become mine? Am I going to allow the stress of other people's stuff, let's just say that, to become my stuff, and to begin to exhibit symptoms, conditions, feelings, and physical bodily responses because of them? And this scripture came to my mind as I was thinking about these concepts in Matthew, the 11th chapter, the 28th verse. Then Jesus said, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest." So it begins to set up a kind of a conditional promise that he gives us. He reaches out for his target audience when he says, all right, who I'm talking to today and who I'm inviting to me today is anybody who feels tired. All right, so that's who this text is for today. It's for anybody who's feeling tired. For anyone, he says, who is carrying heavy burdens. He doesn't even get into the details of if those burdens are burdens that we have brought upon ourselves, if they're burdens that exist from the duties and the tasks and the calling that we have, if they're ministry related burdens. He doesn't get into all that. He just generally throws a broad net and says, my invitation right now is to anyone who's tired and who is carrying something that is too heavy for them to carry. And I don't know who I'm talking to today on this, whether live or on the rebroadcast, but I believe that you're probably in that number, like the rest of us, of someone who has, or maybe even tends to carry some stuff that isn't even your job to carry. That isn't your ministry to carry. That isn't your assignment to carry. I don't know. I need you to do your own self-assessment, look within, and determine, is the stress and the weight and the emotions and the thoughts and the burdens that you are carrying, if you're carrying them, are they actually yours to carry? Is it your job to carry that burden? I'm just talking to y'all today, right? Is it your job to carry that stress? Is that something that God gave you as your assignment to carry? Or are you accepting thoughts and stress and worry and fear and burdens that he didn't put on you? The Bible says he won't put more on you than you can bear. But my question to you today is, I know he didn't put it on, some of these things on you, but are you putting some of these things on yourself? There's some things that he's going to allow to be on you that are a part of the assignment, and he said he'll give you strength for those. But are you carrying some things that are not your assignment, your calling, your purpose, your destiny to carry? Are you putting more on you than you can bear yourself? Not as he already told you he's not going to put more on you than you can bear, but are you putting more on yourself than you have the capacity? Yeah, that's the word I want. The capacity to bear. Jesus said, if that's you, if you meet these prerequisites, he says, I'm inviting you, come to me, all of you who are weary, tired, and carry heavy burdens. The King James says, and heavy laden. You have a whole bunch of stuff stacked on your shoulders, a bunch of weights stacked upon you, and probably causing you physical drainage. Heavy laden. You're carrying a whole bunch of stuff that is adding to the complexity of your weariness. He says, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens. And then here's the promise. He invites you. All right, come to me if you meet this description. And if you do, he says, I will give you rest. Rest, relief, respite. I'll give you a break from the struggle of stress. I will do some systemic work in your life that will allow you to not be overburdened. Yeah. His task for us is to make sure that we are not overburdened above and beyond the normal wear and tear that is expected of our human experience. He says, come to me and I will make sure that you're not burdened beyond what you can bear. I will make sure that you're not carrying something that is too heavy for you to lift. I will make sure that you are not, oh my goodness, that you are not allowing the stress and the pain that isn't even a part of what I'm calling you to begin to affect you to the point where you can't sleep how you need to sleep. You can't rest how you need to rest. You can't do the things that I need you to do because you are so overburdened by these things that you have taken on that aren't even a part of the assignment. He says, come on to me. Let's get you right. Let's get you in order. Let's get you functioning the way that I intend and plan for you. And that's just the verse 28. That's the first verse that we're looking at. Jesus goes on and continues in verse 29. And he says, now I'm not saying that you don't have to carry anything. But he says, take my yoke upon you. In other words, get connected to me. Yoke, we know, I won't go through a whole lot of it, but it's an apparatus that is designed and generally used in agricultural work to link up animals, cattle, oxen, pulling animals, donkeys, horses, whatever you may look at, animals that are designed to bear a certain load. A yoke is an apparatus that is put on to disperse to disperse the weight that they're carrying, to disperse the impact of the weight that they are carrying, and to make the weight spread out over two rather than only pointedly focusing in on one. He says, take my yoke upon you. In other words, link up with my power. Oh my goodness. Jesus says, I know you're carrying some stuff. You are designed to carry some stuff, but there's some stuff that you're carrying that is too heavy for you. And so what I need you to do is come on to me, and let's link up. Let's link up. Let's take my yoke. All right. Attach what is attached to me. Put it on you so that we can share the weight of the burden. Take my yoke upon you. And then he says, let me teach you. In other words, let me begin to get you in a place where I can give you knowledge so that you don't put yourself in situations where you are carrying what you were designed to carry that is stopping you and stifling you from being able to carry what you are supposed to carry. Let me teach you how to not find yourself in situations and predicaments where you're finding yourself carrying unnecessary burdens, undue burdens that are not equal to what I've designed you for. Let me teach you, he says. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you. Why? Because I'm humble and gentle at heart. I don't want you. Basically what he's saying is I'm nice. I don't want you to be carrying unnecessary weight and trauma and pain and agony and, oh my goodness, and worry and anxiety. I don't want you to be in a place where you can't get good rest at night because your mind is racing with how you're going to be able to do the things that you need to do and what am I going to do about this situation. I don't want you, he says, to solve my problems. He says, I can carry the weight and I can disperse the weight appropriately to where it needs to be. He says, let me teach you what's yours and let me teach you what isn't yours. Oh my goodness. I hope this is helping somebody today. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you because I am humble. I'm nice. I'm really a good guy. I'm humble and gentle at heart. And he says, and you will find rest for your souls if you allow me to teach you what you should take on and what you should let go, what you can manage, what your capacity is, and what's over capacity. If you will allow me to teach you when to go ahead and engage the assignment, when to engage the situation, and when to disengage it, when to let it go, he says, you will then find rest or reprieve or restoration or peace or a place of refilling and rebuilding. You will find rest. For what? For your souls, for your mind, for your will, for your emotions. You'll be able to keep going with what I need you to do if you're not doing what I didn't tell you to do. You'll be able to find rest for your souls, for your mind, those thoughts that keep on trying to attach themselves to you, that are draining, that are wearing you out. I'll be able to let you have the right thoughts entering in and to be able to keep on deflecting and pushing away thoughts that you don't even really need to be troubled with. He says, just come to me, let me teach you, and you will find rest for your souls, for your mind, for your will, and even for your emotions. You'll have enough capacity to be able to appropriately and healthily manage the emotions that you are feeling that are a natural part of life, a natural part of being a human. You'll have the right levels where it's not so much sadness that you don't know what to do. It's not so much anger that you just begin to burst out and act out on the emotions. You'll be able to manage them appropriately and have a kind of a homeostasis, an emotional peace. Oh my goodness. He says, if you will allow me to teach you what to take on and what not to take on, if you will link up with me and allow me to carry my weight and do the things that I'm supposed to do and leave room for you to be able to do the things that you're supposed to do, then I am declaring to you that if you will link up with me and come to me and bring me this stuff that is on you, that you will find rest for your souls. And that's the second verse that we're talking about. The third and final verse that we're dealing with gives a little bit more explanation to us, as Jesus says, for my yoke is easy to bear. In other words, if you will come into collaboration and partnership with me, it's not going to be so hard for you because you will be linked up with an omnipotent being, an all-powerful God. A supernatural force who created everything that is. If you will partner and join with him, he's really going to do the work of carrying the load. And that's how you'll be able to find rest, so that you aren't suffering unnecessarily. Yeah. He says, for my yoke is easy to bear And then he said, and the burden that I give you, because there is a portion that I do need you to carry. There is a burden that I'm going to place on you. There is some stuff that I am going to ask you to do. He said, but my burden, what I'm going to give you, the burden that I give you is light. It's not going to wear you out. Matter of fact, you're going to be energized. You're going to be excited to tackle the problems that you were called and purposed to tackle. He says, my burden is light. And so I just wanted to tell you today that I think that many of us are carrying some stuff that's too heavy. That stress that you're carrying that really isn't something that you should have even found yourself in the middle of, that's too heavy. That trying to solve everybody's problems, that's too heavy. That tendency that you have to take responsibility for things. Oh my goodness, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't even want to look and see who's on this right now. That tendency that you have to take responsibility for everything that has gone wrong, even though it wasn't even your fault. That's too heavy. That's too heavy. That tendency to try to solve everybody else's dilemma while letting your stuff fall apart, that's too heavy. So Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. So that should let you know that if it feels too heavy, it might not be a burden that he gave you. If it feels like you don't have the capacity to be able to handle it, then I want you to just self-assess. Am I taking on something that isn't really mine to take on? Am I trying to do God's job? And I know many of us want to be so needed, and so many people want to be needed, and so we insert ourselves in situations, and then we're stressed out that we did. He says, take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. That's what I have for you today. That thing, if it's too heavy, you got to examine why are you carrying it. He said, I won't give you more than you can bear. So today, begin to release those stresses, your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions that are overtaxed by situations that may not even be yours to solve. And go in that peace, that thing is too heavy, but what he's giving you, you can handle. All right. Love y'all. Have a phenomenal week.